everyone. Welcome all. It is time for the show with no name on Vaughn Radio, and we are gonna lift off, amigos.
10, 9,
Hold
8,
on to your
7,
hats, because here we
6,
go.
5,
4, come on.
3, 2,
Yep.
1,
Uh-huh.
0.
All right.
Ignition.
There we go.
Lift off.
Come on.
Lift off. 30 minutes after the hour.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. It's the show. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Hello, amigos. Once again, thanks for joining us on this amazing adventure called The Show with No Name. And we're going to go to a lot of exciting places today on our English journey. We're going to learn English from music, from movies, of course, with a little bit of humor in there. Because if not, I'm not even going to show up. If we can't laugh in the class, man, I don't know what I would do. Imagine that was like a worldwide rule. No laughing in class. Hey, some teachers are like that. Not here at Vaughn. We've got the most dynamic teachers anywhere around. And you can sign up for Vaughn courses right now. You can go to grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados to find out what's going on in the Vaughn world. We've got urban camps, summer camps, Vaughn Town. We've got the Disney English stuff for the kids. And also, don't forget, we've got a lot of special deals going on at the Vaughn Tienda for World Book Day as well. So, folks, make sure you get over there and find out about all our options. Do you know about Vaughn groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831. Or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. Question of the week. You know it, folks. It is question of the week time. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to listen to them yet because we've only got 2 people who have participated already. And thanks to you, who have already participated. I only gave it to you yesterday, but this week's question of the week is a personal one. It's also a good idea to sometimes remind ourselves what we're doing, why we're learning English, why we're here every day, putting in the time and the effort. So this week's question: when and why did you decide to learn English? When and why did you decide to learn English? And maybe, you started to learn it in high school and then, you never got into it and then you restarted. So tell us your story. When you got started, when you really got started. I guess those are two different, unless you've been an English lover since the beginning. And more importantly, why? What's your motivation for learning English? Why do you want to learn English? Why do you want to be a better English speaker? I know why I want to learn Spanish. I mean, obviously I have a personal reason. I am Spanish. So it's my other country. In fact, it's right now the country I live in. So it is United States is right now my other country. So when and why did you decide to learn the English language? You can tell us in a 1-minute voice note, and you can send that voice note to my email address. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. aalonso@grupovon.com. Introduce yourself. I think most of you do it, but occasionally somebody just goes, hey, well, the reason I started learning English was, but remember, nobody knows who we're listening to. I could tell them, I could say, hey guys, we're going to listen to Javier, right? But isn't it nicer for you to practice introducing yourself? So, hey guys, what's going on? What's crack-a-lackin'? How's it hanging? Javier here. It's Javier speaking. Be creative. We want your personality to come through. So you have until Thursday evening to participate if you'd like to practice speaking in this weekly speaking exercise. Tell me in a 1-minute voice message when and why you decided to learn English. We look forward to hearing from each and every one of you, as always. And thanks to all of you who participate week after week. You know who you are. All right. Are you ready to participate in our pop quiz? Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos, it is time for your pop quiz. Now, the pop quiz is a section where we take a look at something, usually from the Von Tienda. And just a quick reminder, guys, you've got a lot of really special deals going on right now. Go over there. It's only going to last, I don't know if it's today or the rest of the week, but I've got to tell you, if you're looking for deals, now's the time. You can go to vontienda.com and you can get deals on all of our different books. In fact, look, I can see ver promociones. In fact, you know what I'm going to do, folks? If you're with us in the live chat, I'm going to share the link right there. So now you can check it out yourself. We've got the Objetivo Inglés Pack Completo. This is a complete English course for self-study, and it's only $99, folks. So $99 for a full, complete course in English. It's amazing. It's got exercises, it's got audio, and everything you need to improve. You've also got a deal if you're thinking about learning German. Our Willkommen, which is another learning, it's a course, it's a self-study course. That too is just under $100. We've got La Trilogía del Inglés going on right now as well for 20 euros and 95 cents. That is a great deal. You've got El Curso de Inglés Definitivo. Are you ready for this? This is the business course. 20 euros and 95 cents for a complete business course. You've also got Tu Profesor en Casa. You've got the beginner level on sale right now. Oh, no, you've got them all on sale. Beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And actually, there are 2 intermediates, but they're all going for the same price. Todos se venden por el mismo precio of $19.90, just under $20. And if you're looking for something for the kids, well, you've got Kiddie English as well. And then you want some dirt cheap deals? I mean, dirt cheap, que más barato imposible. You've got the whole Stuff collection. Stuff is this program we did on Aprende Inglés TV. And basically, we would talk about one topic for a few minutes. Fitz talking about shaving, me talking about packing for a trip, and we go over vocabulary and expressions in different situations. You've also got a very funny book called Guía de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, which was done by my friend Tony Mata. You've got Learn It Like a Lady. Those are $5.95, folks. 5.95. $5.95. You've got Von World as well. That's $20.95. And the Diccionario Anaya, which is $15.90. So those are just some of the great deals that we've got going on right now for World Book Day. And today we're going to look at a material called Listen Up. It's 88 paragraphs. And what do I want you to do? Well, obviously, I want you to listen up.
Taking up yoga with a friend. And now the vocabulary.
To take up.
Empezar a hacer algo.
Yoga.
Yoga.
To stretch.
Estirar.
To laugh at.
Reírse de.
To socialize.
Socializar.
Tight.
Apretado.
Apprehensive.
Aprensivo, preocupado.
Exhausting.
Agotador.
To be hot or stuffy.
Hacer calor. Estar sofocante.
If I took up yoga, like my friend wants me to, there would have to be some things that we agree on first. For example, no laughing at me. There could be a lot of people at the yoga classes, so there should be good opportunities to socialise. But I'm still a little apprehensive. I think it's going to be exhausting. And I think there might be things I can't do because my muscles are so tight. My friend said the yoga studio is often quite stuffy, which doesn't sound inviting either. I think there could be easier hobbies to take up, but it's good to try everything at least once.
Going to the theatre on a date. And now the vocabulary. Play.
Una obra de teatro.
Theatre.
Teatro.
Actor or actress.
Actor, actriz.
A date.
Una cita.
To go on a date.
Tener una cita romántica.
To date.
Salir con.
Would you mind if someone arrived late to a date? My best friend was late to his date at the theater last week. Luckily, his date didn't care at all. Apparently, she's usually late, so she doesn't mind other people being late either. It turned out that my friend knew one of the actors, so he asked Bob, his friend that's an actor, if he minded being introduced to his date after the play. Of course, he didn't mind at all, and everyone got along like a house on fire. Dating can be so much fun or a total disaster. But as long as everyone has a good time, it doesn't matter. To tell you the truth, I don't think my friend cared about the play much in the end.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. More information about Weekend Town and all our initiatives, urban camps, you can get all that over at grupovon.com/cursos destacados. All right, amigos, let's see if you were paying attention in today's pop quiz. Now, we were looking at, again, the material is called Speak Up, and it's available at Von Tienda. Don't forget, we've also got a radio show called Speak Up with Ruby. It's right after the lunchtime show with Rob and Andy. And right before Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. Remember to download the Vaughn Radio app, and you can follow us anywhere. Also, for those of you who listen to podcasts, you can find us on your favorite podcast platforms. All right, let's go on over to our chat room right now and see who's in the house checking in. Carlos Alberto in the house, and he says, another day in paradise. All right, well, Carlos Alberto, only one thing comes to mind here. Oh, think twice. It's just another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice. Did you do that on purpose, Carlos Alberto? I think you did. He says, good morning, teacher. Good morning to you, buddy. Great to have you on board. Ready and willing. Listo y dispuesto. Esto es frase hecha. Ready and willing. There's Born to Iron Man with bells on, con muchas ganas. And he says, morning, friends. Morning to you, sir. Oh, wait, guys. Before I check the comments, I forgot to give you the pop quiz. I was so excited to start reading your comments that I forgot to give you the pop quiz. All right. Some things I wanted to see if you extracted them from the audio and if you can use them in context. They said the word exhausting. Okay. So you can say you're tired, right? But give us another way to say you're very tired. Okay? Another way to say you're tired without using the word tired. So, in Spanish, estoy agotado. Estoy muerto. Estoy, right? So, no cansado. Lo siguiente. And I want you to use it in context. If you can use it in your own context and personalize it, think of somebody you know, or think of the last time you were exhausted. And just remember, if something is exhausting, es la causa. Exhausted es el resultado. So apunta esto. En adjetivos, ok, no en verbos, en adjetivos, ed significa que lo causas. Perdona, lo tengo al revés. 50-50 here. Significa que eres la víctima, no es el resultado. It's cause and effect, causa y efecto. So, ejemplo, pon este ejemplo. I was entertained because the play was entertaining. Okay? I was entertained, resultado, ed. Because the play was entertaining, causa. Causó el interés, right? I was interested, o lo ponemos al revés, da igual. The play was interesting. I was interested. And you know the biggest example I've heard with this one? A student told me once, I don't know, I'm just boring in my job. Es que soy muy aburrido en mi trabajo. Soy, no estoy. See the difference? So the student said, I'm boring. I go, well, you know what, Paco, I don't think you're boring. I'm making up the name, me invento el nombre, right? And he meant to say, I'm bored at my job. Estoy muy aburrido. So the difference, to be bored, estar aburrido. To be boring, eres un aburrido. Lo causas, causa, efecto. Make a list. Make a list of the most common adjectives with the EDN ing ending. And then practice using them, obviously aloud. All right, so that's the first one. The second one, a synonym for to laugh at. Are you laughing at me? Okay, reírse de, burlarse de, tomar del pelo, along these lines. Okay, so a synonym for laughing at somebody. And the third one, they said something, voy a empezar un nuevo hobby. Empezar un nuevo hobby. O un nuevo actividad, una nueva actividad. They said a word there, a phrasal verb that was used. I want you to give it to me, obviously, in context, in the way you would use it. And we've got a bonus question today. That third word, that phrasal verb, has a secondary meaning that's used pretty often. So if you want, give me a bonus. Give me another usage of empezar algo. Si te sabes el phrasal verb, tiene dos usos. Bueno, dos que me vienen a la cabeza. Okay, but the first one we said, voy a empezar algo nuevo. The second one, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to see if you know it, but same word. So technically, it could be a double trouble. All right, amigos. Number one, a synonym for exhausted. Number two, a synonym for laugh at. Again, use them in context. Number three, usa el voy a empezar un nuevo hobby. O no sé si estoy listo para empezar una nueva actividad. Comenzar, ¿no? Cogerlo. And the fourth one, and this is a bonus, I want you to give me another usage of that same phrasal verb, that third one. See if you know it. All right? Now, some more comments. Let's see. I shared the link with you guys. You got the Von Tienda link over here if you're looking for materials. Let me also share the Cursos Destacados one with you. All right, there it is. Copy and paste. Oh, as you say, copy paste. Copy and paste. So you've got the promociones in the tienda, Vaughan Tienda Promociones, and you've got Grupo Vaughan Cursos Destacados. Again, if you're going to pick up books, do it now before the deals end. And if you're signing up for a course, do it now before they fill up, because spots are filling up really quickly. Let's see who else is in the house. Show with no namers around the world. Turani says, morning, everybody. Hello, Turani. Great to have you with us on board. And Turani says, I'm poised, ready to learn with you guys. Wow, that is a really good word there. I'm giving you a totally native. Poised. It means, well, it's got a couple kind of meanings. It means tranquilo, preparado. It can be both, right? So, I'm poised. Estoy en la posición, listo para acción. But also, poise is equilibrio, serenidad. So somebody who, I remember, I'll never forget these words that the dean of the drama department told us. And this was after 4 years studying drama. And she said, if I didn't teach you anything, if we didn't teach you anything in these 4 years, please take 2 things with you out there in the real world. And she said this in tears. She said, confidence, cree en ti mismo, confía en ti mismo. And poise. And poise means elegancia. Saber estar. Saber mantener la calma. Estar listo para todo. It's a great word. I love it. Turani. All right, amigos. We've got to go to a quick commercial break right now. We'll be right back with tons more. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name, where English is exciting. And don't forget, we've got so many amazing programs here on Bon Radio. From the crack of dawn, desde primera hora. From the crack of dawn until the wee hours, las horas de la madrugada. You can start your day with the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. You've also got the greatest teacher in Spain and perhaps in the world, Mr. Richard Vaughn, in Richard Vaughn Live. Then you've got Fitz with no excuses, definitely a top-tier teacher. After that, you got this crazy guy named Alberto Alonso doing some crazy variety show. Don't pay him any mind. No le prestes mucha atención. He's out of his mind. Ah, toma, double trouble. Está loco. Está pirao. Well, hey, it helps. Ayuda mucho en esta vida. Then we've got Jimena and Nacho with Test Your English right after today's show. Then you got Best Buds, Rob and Andy, in the lunchtime show. We already mentioned Speak Up and Let's Get Random. But don't forget about our afternoon and evening shows as well. They are awesome. All right, welcome back to part 2 of today's show. And amigos, let's kick off this part with the Say What soundbite. Come on. Say what? What? Say What soundbite. All right, amigos, you ready to listen up? Escuchar, prestar atención. Like the book we're looking at in today's pop quiz, like the radio show hosted by Ruby. It's a very common expression. Listen up. Speak up. Well, the show is called Speak Up. The book is called Listen Up. Same idea. Listen up. Presta atención. Speak up. Habla más alto. They're two phrasal verbs that kind of make sense. All right, amigos, is everybody ready for today's Say What soundbite? We are going to hear this 4 times, as always. So everybody pay attention. This is the first listen.
What I had earned was about $3,400,000. And what I actually had was $44,000 in the trust fund. That was all. And I said, well, that's where is it?
All right. I think the person enunciates, speaks slowly, clearly, no problems today, I don't think. Maybe. We'll find out in just a moment. All right, I'll give you a minute, give you 30 seconds to digest that, and we're going to hit you with it a second time. Are you ready? Here's your Say What soundbite for the second time.
What I had earned was about $3,400,000. And what I actually had was $44,000 in the trust fund. That was all. And I said, well, that's where is it?
¿Quieres estar al tanto de todas nuestras promociones en la Vaughan Esfera? Well, now you can be in the loop. Puedes estar al tanto. Puedes enterarte de ofertas, novedades y eventos. Y mucho más. Puedes encontrar todo eso en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Eso es, en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Ahí tendrás toda la información de última hora. Guárdalo como favorito. grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And stay in the loop. More information, grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados, where you'll find out about all our deals going on for the summer season. All right, let's take a look at today's pop quiz answers. And also, we'll give you guys some time to figure out the Say What soundbite as well. The first person to take a stab at today's pop quiz, Born to Iron Man. Let's see what he came up with. He says, after finishing an Ironman race, you can bet you're dead on your feet, totally wiped out. Great job. All right, sweet job there. So to be dead on your feet, muerto de pie, it's a great one. To be wiped out, another great way to say exhausted. Excellent job. Born to Iron Man. And he says, of course, nobody will mock the way you ended up. All right, to mock, to make fun of. Ooh, I just gave you guys another one and I didn't mean to. And what I would say there's the way you end it en vez de ended up, porque ended up is ¿qué acabasteis haciendo? So it's more ese acabar, resultar. No, acabamos haciendo. So I would say nobody will mock the way you end it or finish it, no? Si eres un finisher. So great. Excellent job. The word mock. I know we've looked at that word before here on the show. Let's see. And the third one, you'll take up another sport as you're getting old. All right. We didn't get the bonus, but that's okay. No worries. I'll give it to you if nobody knows it, but wonderful job. Born to Iron Man, as always, leading the way. Go lead the way, and then what you... Isn't that a Carlos Jean song? Lead the way. I remember that. Good song. All right, who else wants to participate? Here's Durani. Durani says, I am worn out after work all day. After working all day. All right. I'm worn out. Because you have two choices there. I'm worn out after working all day, or I'm worn out after work every day. En el segundo, work es sustantivo. En el primero es un verbo. Great. To be worn out. Let's see. The next one. She made fun of his brother, but he didn't understand that she was pulling his leg. All right. So ella se rió del hermano de él, but he didn't understand that she was pulling his leg. Great. So to make fun of and to pull someone's leg. Okay, I don't know the third one. The third one was in the audio. Oh, so you missed the audio today, Durani. All right, well, don't worry. As Born to Iron Man says, it's to take up. He took up kickboxing. She took up yoga, right? So to take something up. And let's see. Does anybody know that secondary meaning, that bonus question, that second meaning of take up? Let's see. Lupe is in the house. Hello, Lupe. How you doing? She says, good morning. Hello. She says, I'm totally worn out after this boxing class. Great job to be worn out. Desgastado. You say the same thing, right? The next one, stop mocking at me. Lupe, está bien, solo tenemos que quitar el at. Stop mocking me. Sin at, okay? The next one, my muscles are extremely sore. I think I'll take up yoga classes instead. Excellent job. Excellent job, Lupe and company. Pans and company. You guys are Lupe and company. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man, taking a stab at that bonus one. He says, bonus, the take up for this benefit is around 70%. Okay, the take up is not a very common one there. It's not the one we're looking for. I'm going to give you an applause. The take up. I don't really get what you mean, though. Like we would say, take off 70%, the take up. He's using it as a noun too. That's not the one I had in mind. At least it's not a very not as common as the one I had in mind, because it doesn't really ring a bell to me. Again, doesn't mean it's not a part of the language. I'm just one guy. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, morning show with no namers. She was beaten after the game. Chris, the only thing I got to make a little adjustment there. She was beat. Yeah, it's interesting because beaten es vencida. They were beaten by the other team. And I was beat after the game. Es interesante. We say beat. Man, I am beat. Mi favorito? I'm pooped. Estoy cagado. It doesn't mean cagado. It means cansadísimo. I'm pooped. I'm spent. Piénsalo, gastado, desgastado. I'm spent, man. I am pooped. Y una que yo aprendí, que dicen los británicos con una K muda, knackered. I'm knackered, mate. Knackered. So she was beat after the game. Let's see, the next one. Are you making fun of him? Te estás burlando de él. Te estás riendo de él. And she's taking up motorcycling. Great job, Chris. And look, it looks like we've got somebody who's got that bonus one. Let's see. Carlos says, thank you, teacher. Ready to rumble. Glad to hear it, Carlos Alberto. Let's see. Born to Iron Man. He's got something to say about our Say What soundbite. He says, it sounds like a woman who's speaking crystal clear. She's talking about how she earned, right? Hay que poner el sujeto otra vez. How she earned $3.4 million just investing $44,000 in a trust fund. What a deal. Good ear. You got the gist of it. Good job. All right, let's see. Daniela. Daniela says, we have to get rid of this sofa. It takes up too much space in the room. That's the one, Daniela. Ocupar. Yeah. to take up space. So, I'll give you a perfect way to remember it. He said he wanted to take up piano. Now, and then I bought him a piano, and now the piano is just taking up space. It's a great way to remember them. It's a double trouble there. So he said he wanted to take up piano classes, piano lessons, you can say. And, well, he gave it up. No, ya no lo hace. So now I've got this piano taking up space in my house. To take up space. Excellent, Daniela. And she says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Daniela, as well. All right, guys. So great job. Exhausted, pooped, spent. What are other ways? Let's see. Exhausted. We go over here to word reference. We click on English synonyms. I'm tired. You know why I tell students not to use that one? Let's see if you know why. How many times have I heard tired? How many times? 1 million? 1.5 million times that I've heard the word tired. Tired. Right? So we don't say tired, we say tired. Tired. All right? So instead of saying that one, make your life easier. I'm worn out. I'm drained. Drained es cuando se quita todo el agua de una piscina. You drain the pool. Drenado, no, drenaje. Me quita toda la energía. Think about it. I'm dead tired. I'm pooped. Esa me encanta. I'm dog tired. I'm wiped out. That's one of the ones we heard today. Okay? My British favorite, I'm knackered. We also say, don't you guys say, estoy quemado? Estoy como que, I'm burnt out. Eso es que no doy para más. And it comes from the expression to burn the candle at both ends. And this means you're not getting enough rest. You're not taking care of yourself. You're focused too much on producing and doing things, and you're not taking care of yourself. You're not living a healthy lifestyle. You're burning the candle at both ends. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to get tuckered out. Toma, otra forma de decirlo. To get tuckered out. All right? To laugh at, to mock, to tease. Are you teasing me? ¿Me estás vacilando? Right? That's one I use often with my daughter. All right, let's see. Anybody else have something to say? Chris Valrol, there she is. She says, I think I heard an American woman who's probably being interviewed talking about how to shoot up her money. All right, or to invest it, right? To shoot up, disparar. Oh, to make her money shoot up, entonces. Hacer disparar. Because to shoot up, I would think disparar como con pistola. I think that's what you wanted to say, Chris. To make her money shoot up. All right. Turani. Turani says, we can use start from the scratch for a new hobby or sounds unnatural. Oh, it's a question. Can we use start from the scratch for a new hobby or it sounds unnatural? Good question. First, thank you for writing the expression because it's wrong, but it's good. That's how we learn. We can start from scratch, not the scratch. O sea, que primero quitamos el the de la expresión. And to start from scratch means to start from zero, but it sounds a bit forced, you know? Usually I would say this after I tried something, and I'm going to try it in a totally different way. That plan didn't work, so now we're going to start from scratch. So it's not unnatural. Yeah, it's a bit forced. Yeah, I guess, you know, I'm going to start a new hobby from scratch. It just would be more normal to say, I'm going to take up a new hobby, because take up implica que es por primera vez. So tienes todo incluido en esas dos palabras. And to start from scratch a lot of times gives me the implication that we already tried it. Guys, me recuerda la expresión to go back to the drawing board. Hay que volver a la fase de planificación. So it's a great expression to start from scratch, to start from square one, right? But if it's a new hobby, then you would just use take up, right? The same way, si hablas de uno, you would never say in English. It's just, you know why? I can tell you why we don't say it. It's unnatural. This sofa is occupying a lot of space. No. O puedes decir como mi mujer, you occupate too much space. Ocupar, occupate. I love it and I get it. But what she means to say is you take up too much space. She's talking about in the bed. Yeah, guys, I'm a swimmer sleeper. You know, I sleep like I'm swimming in a pool. My arms spread out, my legs spread out, all over the place. Hey, we were talking about sleep yesterday. Today we're talking about being exhausted, being pooped, being knackered, being worn out. All right, amigos. Well, excellent job in our pop quiz and also in our Say What soundbite, which I don't know. I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to be able to figure out today's Say What soundbite. I think it's on the easier side. Now, can I say the same for today's homophones?
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
All right, amigos. These are those words that tend to throw my students off. Desconcertar. That's a word I learned this year in Spanish. Yeah, they usually throw my students off. But again, if you know them, great. But what you got to do too is make sure you don't just know them now when I give you time to think about them, but that every time you pronounce these words, whatever they may be, and every day they're two different words, and we look at all their meanings, you got to make sure that it always comes out right. Every time you say that word, like the other day, we looked at the word job and yob, okay? You got to make sure that every time you say the word job, you're not saying the word yob, right? Why? We already told you. Yob es un gamberro. This guy's a yob. He needs a job. So, no es que lo sepas si yo te pregunto y tienes 30 segundos para pensarlo, pero que tú vas a decir la palabra y te sale. No dices it is. Prométeme que no digas it is. All right? Prefiero que digas it's que it is. Porque ya estás diciendo dos vocales. It is cuando es it is. Entonces, pues, ¿cómo lo quitamos? It's. ¿Ves? Ya solo tenemos que hacerlo una vez porque lo hemos contraído y es lo más natural al final. But never, ever eat is. Because eat is comer, not it. They are not homophones. But you'll be surprised how many people make that mistake, that E Latina. So, again, let's see if you know these words, not just today, but if you know them every time you need to say them. The first word is colina, o cerro, you say as well. También es una cuesta, un montículo, right? A little mound. What else? Si añadimos la palabra hormiga, es un hormiguero. El Capitolio lo llaman porque está en una colina. Okay. ¿Qué más? Humo. No, bueno, hay expresiones que vamos a mirar. El rey del mambo, el rey de la manada, el que manda, también tiene esta palabra. So we're going to look at a lot of uses of this first one. Okay? Hasta dos o tres expresiones. Y bueno, I think you're familiar at least with the word colina, montaña, cuesta. All right? And the second word is curarse, cicatrizar, sanar, right? Curarse. So, what are those two words? And do they sound exactly the same or not? The first word again is colina, cerro, cuesta, montículo. Again, it has many other meanings, which we'll look at, including some idiomatic expressions. The second word is the word curar, sanar, okay? And hopefully you guys will recognize the words and know if they sound exactly the same or not. Right now, we've got to go to a quick commercial break, amigos. I can't believe it. We're halfway through the show here. We've got so much to do in the second part. We've got Say What Soundbite. We'll take a look at our homophones. We've got Spelling Bee, Double Trouble, Name That Movie, Name That Lyric, Famous Birthdays, and so much more, amigos. Also, a quick reminder before this commercial break. If you haven't checked out the deals that are going on, do it now. grupovon.com/cursos destacados. You also have the link to the books at Von Tienda. Tons of deals going on over there right now. So don't hesitate. No dudes. Do it now. All right, amigos, we'll be right back with tons more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Great to have you here, folks. Get cozy, get comfy. It's really important when you're learning. You need to be comfy. You need to be cozy. You need to feel like you're at home. And Vaughn Radio is your home away from home. Download our app if you don't have it. And this way you never have to miss a show. And that's one thing I'm so proud of. There are no two shows on Vaughn Radio that are alike. Even though we all follow the Vaughn method, and I think that's applicable to our teachers. We have a lot of amazing teachers, the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, as we say. But no two teachers are the same. And that I think it's hard to do. You know, to have that same seal of approval, to have that same quality that you're looking for, and still keep your personality. You know, we're not robots. That's one of the first things that they tell you at Vaughn. You were not hired because, well, more importantly, you were hired because of your personality. We can teach you how to teach our way. We can even give you the resources. And again, that was one of the things that made me be able to become the teacher I would become. Vaughn sent me out into the real world ready. You know, I remember I went from having 0 hours to 46 hours a week at big companies with huge executives. And, you know, I even remember saying to Fitz, "You sure I can handle this?" And he's like, "If anybody can, it's you." And I said, "Really?" And, well, the rest is history, folks. I handled it well. And I realized something since the beginning. If you're having fun, the students are going to have fun with you. If I'm bored, if I'm sitting here like, fuck, when is this show over, man? Oh, we got another hour. Oh, fuck this. You can fake it. I personally don't have the time or the energy to fake shit like that anymore. So you got to really be into it. You got to really like be present, be into the class, be ready to catch them off guard, have fun, sing a song, play a game. What I love doing in my classes, a little bit of role playing too. Okay, you're the hotel, you're at the hotel reception desk in the lobby, and you're complaining because your room smells like smoke, and it looks nothing like the one you reserved online. Go, right? So these are little situations that make English come alive, and that's why we look at movies. That's why we look at music. Even before I started doing the radio show, I've been doing all of this stuff in class. Why? Because that's how I learned. I learned through music, and hopefully you guys can learn through music, movies. I remember one of the first Spanish movies I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys will know, Aquí Huele a Muerto. Was that a movie? Because I remember seeing it, and I remember thinking it was funny, and I think that was like the first full Spanish movie I saw. And then I'll ask you guys a little trivia question to see how well you know your teacher. What is my favorite Spanish movie? Now, I haven't seen many, I have to be honest. But what is my favorite Spanish movie of all time? Hey, if you want some extra brownie points, unos puntos del profe, maybe you'll know my favorite Spanish movie. I can even quote lines from it, right? Puedo hasta citar frases de ello. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got our Say What soundbite right now, amigos. So if everybody will pay close attention, here it is for the third time. I know at least one or two people are going to figure it out. Good luck.
What I had earned was about $3,400,000. And what I actually had was $44,000 in the trust fund. That was all. And I said, well, that's where is it?
Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. No doubt about it, folks. If you don't have my latest book, This Book is the Shit, what are you waiting for? Man, it's awesome. It's fun. And if you like the way I teach here, then you'll love the way I teach in all 5 of my books. They're all available at the Von Tienda, starting with English Everywhere. Then This Book is the Milk. Then This Book is the Milk 2. Then English on the Go. And finally, This Book is the Shit. 5 books. I can't believe it myself. All right, amigos, let's take a look at our homophones. Chris says, we promise, teacher. It's. Es que hay que decirlo 1000 veces. Ir por tu casa, decir, it's a wall. It's a, y no es solo it's a or it's an. It's an itza. I don't know. I'm trying to link it to another sound. So, it's a mug. It's a microphone. It's a phone. It's a. Yo hasta lo aprendería directamente con el o el it's an. It's an owl. It's an ambulance. It's an elephant. It's an. No, eats. And I'm telling you, if you can master that, you got one of the most difficult sounds ever. And I know you know how to make it. How many times have I heard my friends in Spain go, ¿qué haces? Pues ese es el sonido. ¿Qué? What is it? It's. Is it? Yes, it's a. Practice. I know it's page 1 in the Vaughn manual, but there's a reason for it. Because it's the first thing you have to master. This would be where we could say, you got to go back to square one. Durane, you asked before about to start from scratch. Yeah. Don't forget everything you learned, but it's always good to go back to square one, to go back to the drawing board and go over the basics in anything, not just in English and in your profession. There's so much information that enters our brains on a daily basis. Sometimes it's good for a little refresher. All right, let's see. Daniela says, and The second word is incorrect. Daniela. Then you gave us the right word, so I don't know. Maybe you didn't wait. You wanted to be first, so you didn't wait for me to give. Possibly. Am I right here? All right, well, it's not exactly the word, so I can't give it to you. Although you're kind of right, but it's not right. You get what I'm saying? All right. Let's see if anybody got the second word right as well. Turani says, I think and aren't homophones. All right. Those are the correct words. There you go. Turani's got the correct words. And Turani says they aren't homophones. Daniela says, I jumped. Okay. All right. See what happens when you jump the gun? You were first, but you weren't right. Although you were right, but not really, because the second word is not, I didn't say tacón, even though I was going to say it later. See? All right. Well, Daniela, there's a lesson, guys. Wait for it. Just wait one extra second. Born to Iron Man gives us the two words, and he says they don't sound alike. Chris Valrol as well. And she says they are not homophones. Born to Iron Man says, the word hill, well, ya lo puedo decir, hill reminds me of Hamburger Hill. What a movie. It's a classic, no doubt about it. Chris says, yes, aquí huele a muerto y no he sido. Y yo no he sido. Oh, that's the subtitle. Eso no lo sabías. Lo sabía. Chris says, pagafantas. No, but I love the word. So, Chris, you weren't right that it's my favorite movie, but you were right that it is one of my favorite words, vocabulary words in Spanish. Un pagafantas. A panty sniffer. Hey, huele braga. You say the same thing, right? A cuck. C-U-C-K. Cuck or cuckold. ¿Cómo se dice esto en español? Cuckold, un cornudo, ¿no? Uno que le engañan por todos lados. Funny words, pagafantas. Yes, I do love that. I do. You're a Fanta payer, man. No, my favorite movie in Spanish is Días de Fútbol. I love that movie. There was a period where I watched it, I think, like every day for like a month, and I knew all the lines. My favorite line from the whole movie is when the guy arrives, they're playing some kind of practice game, and the guy arrives with like his model girlfriend, his actress girlfriend, and all of a sudden, the guy says to him, he goes, oh, yeah, I know you. You're the actor. Tú eres el actor. He goes, yeah, that's me. And he's like, pues a mí no me actúes, ¿eh? Y a ella ni la mires. I love that line because he's like, oh, yeah, well, stop acting around me then. Because the other guy, I mean, the nuances in that movie, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm an American, but the conversations, the nuances, I've heard people have those. Bueno, el Casillas puede contar, pero sí, el Casillas. Ahora puedes cambiarlo por Courtois, but you get what I'm saying, right? Love that movie, Días de Fútbol, because it not only is a funny movie with funny characters, but I think it really captures a certain vibe, a certain energy very well. One of the movies I can't stand, and I just don't understand it. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm Spanish, but not that Spanish. Torrente, stream. Si lo traducimos, stream. And I guess, yeah, it's very, very specific stuff. El Fadi, this kind of stuff too. Also, it's very sophomoric humor, which is my favorite kind of humor, as you guys know. Poo-poo jokes and pee-pee jokes. But yeah, I tried twice. I'm like, ti te va a encantar. And I was just like, dude, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Now, Días de Fútbol, oh man, I could watch. In fact, I feel like I haven't seen it in a long time. It would be a good time to check it out. All right, so the first word in our homophones is hill. Hill. Okay? As I said, it has many, many meanings. So a hill is, well, a small little mountain, right? If we use the adjective, we would say it's hilly. In fact, where I live in Madrid, it's hilly. Hay colinas, right? We call the hills before the mountains the foothills. Piénsalo, las colinas a pie de la montaña. Because mountains don't just pop up. Usually the area around mountains is hilly as well. So these are called the foothills, okay? Hill is also, that's a big hill. Eso es una cuesta enorme, right? We talk about, the other day we were talking about roller coasters and thrill rides. Well, the first hill, and then the best part, the first drop, really. The first hill, you got to go up, That's where you get your energy that you'll need to get around the track, the circuit. Also, as I said, there's idiomatic expressions. Well, as I said, the anthill, el hormiguero. You've got Capitol Hill, la colina del Capitolio. It's another way of saying the nation's capital, right? Also, if somebody's over the hill, they're old. Oh, man, ya no eres tan joven. You are over the hill, man. Another one, to be king of the hill. El rey del mundo, el rey del mambo, right? El rey de la colina. Think about it. That's a very popular show as well, a cartoon series called King of the Hill. Oh, look, it translates to be over the hill, estar para el arrastre. I didn't know that one. To be over the, creo que lo había oído over there. And then we've got the expression, which comes from a very famous movie, a hill of beans. A hill of beans. What is that? That's a hill of beans. Humo. Nada existente. Let's see. Amount. I know there's a famous movie line too. A hill of beans movie line. Casablanca, 1942. The White House. Okay, it's not called the White House. Hey, we were talking about Capitol Hill. No, the movie is not a translation because the location is called Casablanca. We call it that way in English too. And Humphrey Bogart says in the movie, Ilsa, I'm no good at being noble. No valgo para ser noble. I'm no good at being noble. But it doesn't take much to see that the problems of three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world. Someday you'll understand that. So there you can find that expression, a hill of beans. So hill, say it with me, it's that I. It's the same sound. It's a hill. I. It's a hill. It's a hill. Okay, run for the hills. Corre. Eso es huye. Another expression with hills. Okay, run for the hills, which is interesting because there's the Maiden song, run to the hills. But the expression is run for the hills. A lo mejor en británicos, run to the hills. What are you going to do if they come? I'm going to run for the hills. O sea, voy a huir y esconderme en las colinas. Piénsalo. So a hill of beans, piénsalo también, es un montículo de habichuelas, de habas. Tampoco es poca cosa. It's like peanuts. Same kind of expression there. So classic movie line there, hill. The second word is heel. Heel, which as who pointed it out before? Daniela pointed out, heel sounds like tacón, but it doesn't sound like hill, right? So great job to everybody who said they are not homophones. Hill versus heel. And heel has a third homophone. Does anybody know it? Heel. Let's see if anybody can figure out what that third homophone is. Going once, going twice. Heal, he will. He will, con la contracción de he will. He'll heal if you leave him alone. He'll heal. His heel. All right, ready? He'll heal his heel if you leave him alone. Pero no tiene nada que ver con hill. And again, how do we do this, amigos? Real simple. Let's rhyme some words with it. So the first word, hill. Say these words with me. Así practicamos palabras comunes y su pronunciación. Hill, fill, llenar. Drill, drill, un ejercicio. A drill. A bill, una factura, right? A will, voluntad, la voluntad, will. Hill, pill, píldora, right? I'm sure you can think of some other ones, but the sound is not I latina, it's I. Hill, bill, will, okay? Kill Bill, no es Kill Bill. Mira, ahí está la prueba. Si puedes decir Kill Bill, Kill Bill, pues ya sabes que no es Kill Bill, all right? And I know people will understand you if you say Kill Bill, But wouldn't you rather say it correctly? Like if I know that it's perro instead of perro, well then yo quiero intentar decir perro en vez de perro. Me gusta mi perro, es muy bonito. Que sé que es bonito, es más suave. So, I like to really, one of my goals is to sound like you guys. And all I do all day is just listen and take notes. Ah, sí lo ha dicho, así lo ha dicho. And eventually you start using idiomatic expressions and you have no idea where you got them from. You just absorb them along the way. All right, so those are today's homophones, my amigos. Oh, and let's rhyme a few words with the word heal, que es curar, and heal, H-E-E-L, que es tacón. Feel, wheel, right, rueda. Deal, conceal. Meal, una comida. I'm sure you guys can come up with your own, amigos. Great job in our homophones. And now I'm going to give you a little double trouble. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Oh boy, did I say double trouble? Oh man, once again, this is not a double trouble, folks. This is a double trouble. It means you have to use the same word twice. And the other day we were talking about fishing, right? We talked about fishing for compliments. We talked about different kinds of fish. And I think we mentioned this one. So we're going to see if you guys were paying attention. In fact, this is one of those double troubles I wrote down during a show. Que digo, esta me vale para un double trouble. Como el take up que hemos dicho, ¿no? Lo acabo de apuntar, ¿eh? So puedes esperar el ocupar y empezar un nuevo hobby in an upcoming show. I can tell you that now, because once it's written down, it's going into a script. So here's the one from our fishing. Now, I didn't give you the other meaning of it, but also I think we've looked at it because it's a haircut. And if you listen to the FYI episode on hair, well, then you definitely know this haircut because we talk about it. And don't forget, the latest episode of FYI is on teeth. Our chompers not only help us chew when we chow down on our favorite foods, but they also aid when we produce sounds and learn to speak. It's no secret that oral hygiene is a matter of utmost importance in almost every society. And even though we try and avoid it, we need to visit our dentists regularly for a checkup or a routine cleaning. And if you're lucky, you won't need a root canal. Sit back, settle into your seat, and let the Novocaine kick in as we sink our teeth into teeth on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
En inglés.
You got it. Don't forget, folks, you got a brand spanking new episode of FYI every Friday. You can listen to it wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts. Last Friday, we took a look at teeth. The Friday before, we took a look at English and music. And this coming Friday, we're taking a look at fashion, baby. Oh, yeah. And this is a learning experience for me because I literally know nothing about fashion. So I learned a lot as well. But I figured it would be important to learn all these things. Probar algo, diferentes, frases que usaríamos en la tienda, diferentes telas. So I hope you guys enjoy that episode coming up this Friday. And let me give you our double trouble, and then we got to take our quick commercial break. The double trouble is El Tío Pelirrojo con corte de pelo largo atrás y corto en los lados, pilló un salmonete. Yeah, pilló un salmonete. Ahí lo tienes. I was going to add another word there, but no. So, el tío pelirrojo, con el corte de pelo largo atrás y corto por adelante y los lados, los laterales, pilló un salmonete. There's your double trouble. We'll take a look at the answer to that after this quick commercial break. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 4 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, after today's show, you can listen to Jimena and Nacho as they test your English. I told you about the shows in the afternoon. In the evening, we've got Dave Boys and the Salad. You've also got my buddy Kyle Miller and his program, Drive Time, where he's got tons of challenges to keep you on your toes. Mantente espabilado, al tanto con el inglés. And then, once you've had a long day and you're pooped, you're knackered, you're spent, you're wiped out, I can't think of any other. Bueno, hemos visto casi todas. Then you can sit back, relax, and have a cocktail with Chris Frank in Frankly Speaking. And I've got to be honest, man, Chris has got a really soothing voice. All right, amigos, in this part of the show, we're going to take a look at our double trouble. We've got Name That Movie. We've got famous birthdays. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. Name That Lyric as well. And we've got to listen to our Say What soundbite, which I don't think anybody's gotten it yet, which is weird because I thought we'd have it by now. All right, well, let's kick off with that. Let me give you your Say What soundbite for the 4th and final time.
What I had earned was about $3,400,000. And what I actually had was $44,000 in the trust fund. That was all. And I said, well, that's where is it?
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town. Lose your fear of speaking English. Let's see. I'm just checking it. Give me 1 second. We had earned. Okay, it was about but what I really had. All right. Well, it is close enough. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Born to Iron Man. Excellent job, Born to Iron Man. You nailed it. Just a couple little things that were off, but I've got to tell you something. Almost. You got like, for example, the first part, you put what I earned, but she says, y es tan suave que muchos ni lo ponemos, what I'd earned, lo que había ganado. Pero otra vez, esa D es tan suave que entiendo por qué no lo has puesto y de hecho no lo ponemos muchas veces nosotros. I told him I'd earned money. Ahora, yo he dicho I'd earned, pero no se oye esa D. So it's not really a mistake. It's like one of those native omissions, and you can barely hear it. All right, but the rest looks perfect. And this was a tough one because it had numbers in it, right? Numbers make things a little bit more difficult. All right, folks, excellent job. We're going to the movies. Name that movie. All right, amigos, it's Name That Movie here on the show with No Name, and let's see what we've got for you today. We're going to learn a little English from a movie, and we'll see if you recognize it. While on a tour of the White House, wait a second, we were talking about the White House before. Well, Casablanca, right? And the Capitol, we said Capitol Hill. So while on a tour of the White House with his younger daughter, a Capitol policeman, so Capitol del Capitolio, springs into action, ¿no? Rebota, como pum, listo para acción. He springs into action to save his child and protect the president from a heavily armed group of paramilitary invaders. And it reminds me of another expression. Remember we looked at the word hill before. Well, in English, we have an expression, and if we say, that is the hill I choose to die on, right? So your hill to die on means muero por esta causa. And what reminded me of that? If anybody harms my child, I'll destroy them, right? And that will be my hill to die on. Ahí moriré por esa convicción, right? If anybody harms any child, that's a hill that I think is worth dying on. And it doesn't have to mean literally, but I mean it literally. So a lot of people use it sometimes ironically, like, I can't believe you chose that hill to die on, right? And it comes from the Hamburger Hill. Think about it. Elegiste eso como tu batalla, como tu convicción, right? And if you know, you're like, listen, this is how I feel, and I will die on that hill, right? Eso significa, ahí muero por esa convicción. Es la más fuerte que tengo. So he's got to save his child and protect the president from a heavily armed group of paramilitary invaders. All right. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Let's see. We've got a winner, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Valrol. The movie is called White House Down, not to be confused with Casablanca. We looked at that classic before. White House Down is a movie that came out in 2013, and it stars Channing Tatum, o como dice mi mujer, Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum, Jamie Foxx, y esta sí que no sé pronunciar, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Creo que es así. I can't pronounce their names, but wow, one of those movies. It's the same makers, the same director, I should say, as Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow. So it's these kind of, thrillers, these end of the world thrillers. It's called White House Down. And let's see. Let's take a look at the scene over here. Now, it wasn't filmed on location in situ in Washington, D.C. It was actually filmed in sound stages, estos son platos, in Montreal, Canada. So they really recreated Washington, D.C. in studios. I guess it was cheaper to film there than getting the necessary permits to film in Washington, D.C. What else can we tell you? Well, I think that's enough. Let's take a look at some of the dialogue here. Finnerty says, "This job requires a university degree." Requiere un grado, ¿no? Un título. "You dropped out of GW after our first semester there. You don't finish things." To drop out, abandonar. Lo usamos con colegio, un grupo, right? You dropped out of GW. I imagine GW stands for George Washington, right? The name of the school. Porque GW is, when you see those in the United States, those initials, that's only one, George Washington. He says, "You don't finish things. No terminas las cosas." And Kale says, "Check the file, Carol. Mira el archivo, Carol. 2 years in college, night school." College es universidad, night school que estudias de noche porque estás trabajando. He says, "A certificate, no es certificate, sino certificate. A certificate of graduation should be in there. Debería estar ahí en el archivo." And then Finnerty says, "Great. Yeah, John. You barely maintained a C average." So, barely, apenas. And a C average es, no sé cómo, el ranking en español. Sé que es sobresaliente, anotable, these kind of words. In English, real simple. A, B, C, D, F. No hay una E. A, B, C, D, F. Y dentro de cada uno tienes el plus, el normal y el menos. So A plus, the highest. A, excellent. A minus, the lowest A you can get. Then you go to B, B plus. B, B minus. So a C average is aceptable, right? A is excellent. B is good. C is average. D is bad, poor. And F, you got to repeat the course. You failed. You didn't pass the class. So Kale says, oh, y mirando esas palabras, those are your grades. Se llaman your grades. Que grados que hemos visto es degree. Son false friends. And Kale says, look, I'm sorry I didn't have our little study sessions like we used to back in the day, did I? And then Finnerty says, evaluations from your senior officers. Valoraciones, evaluations. La U se pronuncia como you, like community. Say it with me. So evaluation, to evaluate. Did you repeat it? Evaluation, evaluate. Well, it's that you that a lot of people make a mistake with. The one that sounds like you, tú. And then he says, Sergeant Kale frequently does not complete his field reports on time. O sea, el sargento no completa, no termina sus informes a tiempo. And Kale says, it has nothing to do with protecting someone. No tiene nada que ver, lo decimos igual. And Finnerty says, fine, bien, fine. Sergeant Kale demonstrates a lack of respect for authority. And this is what he's reading off his file. He quotes, fine, bien, te leo esto. Sergeant Kale demonstrates a lack of respect for authority. Sergeant Kale has raw potential. Okay, es un diamante en bruto. A diamond in the rough, we say. But seems determined not to realize it. Does this sound like another character we know? Maverick from Top Gun? Inconformista? So it sounds like Sergeant Kale is a bit of a maverick himself. He doesn't follow the rules, right? And then Kale says, you can keep reading that. That's not me anymore. Puedes seguir leyendo eso, pero ese ya no soy yo. I've changed. He cambiado. And I'm not the kid you used to know in college either. I've buttoned up every single thing. Okay, dejar cerradito, to button it up, no? Atar los cabos. I've buttoned up every single thing that I have to qualify for this job. Okay, he cubierto, he hecho todos los detalles, right? And I have 10 times more experience than any kid coming out of Ivy League schools. And Ivy League, I think we've looked at this. If you haven't listened to the FYI episode on universities, I go over all this vocabulary and I tell you a little bit about life at American universities. And so an Ivy League, Ivy is hiedra, it's a kind of plant. But the Ivy League schools are Harvard, Princeton, you know, the creme de la creme. Yale, que de hecho, si que estamos hablando de job y yob, no es lo mismo ir a jail que Yale. Bueno, lo digo, Yale, the good university. Jail, let's put it this way. If you go to Yale, you might get a good job. If you go to jail, you might not get a good job. Very important, that sound, isn't it? Imagine that in an interview, like, I went to jail. And the guy's like, what? I'm sorry, the interview's over. And then Finnerty says, it's not just about experience. I would need to depend on you every day. And then Cal says, what do you want me to do? ¿Qué quieres que haga? I'll start at the bottom. Empiezo de cero. Just give me a chance. Dame la oportunidad. All right, amigos, let's move on because we've got a lot to do. Famous birthday trivia. That's right, amigos. You know it. It is famous birthday trivia. Let's see if you guys can figure out our famous birthday boys and girls. The first person was born today in 1960, an English guitarist and songwriter. He died very young in true rock and roll fashion, but he was the guitarist for Def Leppard until his death in 1991. Let's put it this way. When they found him dead, his body had registered a blood alcohol level of 0.59%. 0.59. John Bonham, the drummer of Led Zeppelin, who died because he choked on his vomit and alcohol poisoning, his blood alcohol level was 0.41. So just to give you an idea of how sick this guy is, he was also addicted to heroin, and the band even gave him some time to try and get right, but it didn't work. He succumbed to the pressure, and he died sadly very young. He was born in 1960, died in 1991. He was 31 years old with one of the biggest bands ever. And I love Def Leppard. I saw them this summer. I'm sure you all know, pour some sugar on me in the name of love. And that song is about sexual, pour some sugar on me. If you listen to the words, I'm hot, sticky sweet, pegajoso, dulce. It's most Def Leppard songs have a sexual connotation. Number 2, this guy said that anything you want, you got it. Anything at all, you got it. But he did Pretty Woman. He did Crying, only the lonely. And this guy, man, just a legend in the music world. But his most famous song is probably Pretty Woman. He says, Mercy, Merced, Mercy. If you don't know who he is, then you're missing out on one of the greatest voices and singer-songwriters in rock and roll history. And last but not least, this entertainer was born in 1928. She started out as a child actress, and she was so popular. But later, they saw that her movies were not as popular. And now, when you watch her movies, it's actually disgusting. Yeah, because you have, for example, one of her most famous songs, On the Good Ship, Lollipop, it's a nice trip to a candy shop. It's a classic. Let's put it this way. There's a 5-year-old girl singing and dancing in a little mini skirt, and there are 12 men, grown men around her, handling her, touching her, and sadly, I mean, she said it. There was abuse everywhere. She said it because she grew to be. She died in 2014. Okay, but she was in show business her whole life, and sadly, what happened to her still happens. It's not an isolated event, but it's a kind of behavior in Hollywood. And just another example why you don't want to get your kids into that predatory business. All right, let's give it up for Chris Valrol. Steve Clark. Number 1 is Steve Clark from Def Leppard. Number 2, Roy Orbison. And number 3, Shirley Temple Black, or as they call her, Shirley Temple, which, by the way, Shirley Temple, it's a great drink. Do you know what that is? A Shirley Temple is Sprite or ginger ale with some grenadine cherry juice. Yummy. All right, well, this brings us to our Say What soundbite. It was Shirley Temple talking about how her father took advantage of her. So think about that. Her parents took advantage, well, really, her father took advantage of her, the studio executives, grown men. It's disgusting. And she says, what I'd earned was about $3,400,000. And what I actually had was $44,000 in the trust fund. Y trust fund es como una paga que le das a alguien because she was too young. She goes, that was all. Eso era todo. O sea, the money disappeared. And I said, where is it? So her father stole her money. Her father and possibly other people were involved. And again, still happening. Remember Free Britney? Here's Shirley Temple.
What I had earned was about $3,400,000. And what I actually had was $44,000 in the trust fund. That was all. And I said, well, that's where is it?
Thank you so much, amigos. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise. Ciao.